does success mean to you? In this video, I want to talk to you about, there's an old definition about success, and then there's a new, more empowering one, and then I want to talk about some things that you can do to have this new kind of success in your life. Let's sit down so I can talk to you about it in a comfortable position. Okay, John Wooden was an NCAA head coach that coached his basketball players to more championship games than anyone else in history. And the remarkable thing about John Wooden's coaching style is that he never once used the words win or winning when he was coaching them. And yet these boys turned out to have success not only on the basketball court, but also in their personal lives. And John didn't like the old definition of success, which says that you need to have a lot of personal possessions. That's what your goal in life is, to get a fancy car and a big house and all those kinds of things, material possessions, and positions of power and maybe prestige. So he didn't like that definition, and he wanted to coin a new one instead. So I want to tell you about a little bit about my upbringing. When I just got out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and my parents wanted me to be successful, as most parents want for their kids, right? And so for my mom, the idea of success was for me to have a profession that was well paid, and she also didn't want me to have to be dependent on anybody. So for her, that was dentistry. She thought it would be a good idea for me to become a dentist. And since I didn't know what I wanted to do, I went to college like a good shy daughter would do. I did what my parents thought was best of me. And it was 3 excruciating years that I was trying to do the organic chemistry and the physics and everything and studying all the time, and I really bombed really badly, and I was really miserable 3 years. And then finally, in my 4th year, I went to the dean and I got special permission to change into psychology. And that was the best decision of my life. It was like night and day. I loved it so much. The classes were interesting and I aced them. And that was when I got to see what real success feels like to a person. Because I didn't have to worry about what someone else expected of me for my life. And trying to live like that when you know it doesn't feel right for you, that even though it would have been a profession that paid a lot of money and I could have been independent and all that, and there wasn't a lot of women dentists back then, so I probably had a great chance of getting a good job, but it didn't matter if I was going to be miserable, and I couldn't even pass the classes anyways. So that gave me a real feeling about what success feels like, making a decision and doing what's right for you. And John Wooden's definition that he did coin in 1934, that was 85 years ago, and it's still very relevant today. I wasn't around 85 years ago, but a lot of people live by the old definition of success, that you need to have these material possessions and look good to other people and be in positions of power. So for me, I love John Wooden's definition, and this is what it is. Peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing that you did your best to be the best that you're capable of being. Isn't that wonderful? So no matter what you're doing in your life, if you know that you're doing your best, the best that you're capable of doing, there's nothing to do in this definition with other people's expectations of you or what they think is best of you, because when it all comes down to it, when you look in the mirror, you might be able to fool everybody else, but you can't fool that person that's in the mirror. The biggest aha moment of your life might be when you look in the mirror and you realize that you have not been living the life that you're meant to be living, using your unique talents and skills and living with passion and doing what lights you up. With John Wooden's definition, where it says that you need to be your best and just do the best that you're capable of doing, what does doing your best look like, or how do you know if you're doing your best? You know, I think everybody knows if you are prepared and you show up on time and you look well and you have good energy, you know, you smile at people and you help other people out and you're willing to learn and grow. Like, these are all the kinds of things that come to mind when I think about being my best. So now we know the old definition of success about accumulating personal possessions and like a big house and fancy car and nice clothes and like just what you look like to other people. So that's the old definition of success. And the new definition by John Wooden, where success is just peace of mind, which is self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best that you're capable of becoming. And now I want to talk to you about how you can use this in your own life. And how will you know if you are actually being your best? I have an easy way for you to figure that out, and that's by giving yourself a score. It might sound really lame, but trust me, if you give yourself a score of 1 to 10 on every kind of interaction that you have. For example, if you're visiting with your wife at home and after the interaction, you just think to yourself, so was I my best when I was just hanging out with my wife just now? Or if it's hanging out with your kids, you can ask yourself the same thing. Was I my best? On a scale of 1 to 10, how was I? You know, was I my best? A 10 would be your best, and a 1 was like you basically were doing something totally different and ignoring the other person. So give yourself a score, and if it's 8 or lower, then think about what it is that you can do to jack it up a bit for next time. And can you imagine what an awesome life you would live if you were mindful about really just showing up and doing your best? And that's what John Wooden taught those young basketball players to do, on the court and off the court. Without even mentioning the word winning, they were like having amazing lives. That's one of the things. Just be your best. So when you start being your best in every little situation like that, then you end up having masterpiece kind of hours and masterpiece days, and then those turn into masterpiece weeks and masterpiece months, and pretty soon you are living your masterpiece life. And that's my wish for you. Make every day your masterpiece, and you will end up having a masterpiece life. For more everyday strategies on how to be your best and how to live an awesome life, subscribe to this channel, comment below, like it, and share it with anybody that you think might benefit from this message. Until next time, the best in me recognizes and honors the very best in you.